Welcome back, sports fans. Another episode of San Diego Prep Insider. I'm the one over here because I don't have a camera yet set up here. We have San Pasqual in with us. We have Tommy back with us. We have Noah allegedly on the Zoom. We're going to give it 3-1 odds that he's just texting us to delay the inevitable. Oh, man, can't make it on the show. Welcome in. We will have the lower thirds all up with names and everybody, but let's go around the room once for the audio crowd that is listening to this and introduce ourselves.
Andrew Clark, I'm the athletic director and offense coordinator at San Pasqual.
I'm Ron Godina. I play defensive end at San Pasqual.
Danny Davis, class of 22, quarterback.
Peter DeSell, inside linebacker, class of 23.
Is the class of 23, like, do people really genuinely, do you guys really say that? Like, if you're introducing yourselves to other just like football people, class of this, that, or the other, or no, that's just, you felt compelled right now to.
I want to feel professional today.
Deal. You feel, we'll put it on the poll at SD Prep Insider. If you're feeling professional, do you let people know what grade you're in? You can follow us at SD Prep Insider on Twitter, on Instagram for the polls. 3 days, 4 days, how many days, or you've had some double days. So how many total practices, I should ask, maybe, are we at this point in the season?
We've gone through 5 so far.
And that is spread out since last Friday?
Friday. We're still one of the programs that does 2-a-days. We feel there's a value in, though the time's limited, by our rules versus what it was 10 years ago, that we want our guys to feel like they went through something hard. It's not the easiest thing to be there at 5:45 in the morning and to stay awake for an hour of character curriculum stuff and all that before you go run in the Escondido heat. So.
This year for everybody is the shortest offseason of all time. Last year was the longest offseason of all time. So how's it been for you guys as players? Like, must feel like you just turned your pads in and now you got to grab them back again and get it going.
Most definitely. It's kind of nice, though, because we're used to hitting. We're used in the same mindset. We're not really forgetting anything. We're just going right back into it.
I would say it's relieving just to get back into football and not really wait the whole, 8 months or so to get back out there, get to hitting, and just play football again.
Well, so wait,
and Armando had an odd situation because you had an injury that you decided to get taken care of last season, so you missed the spring season. So how does it feel for you now? Are you even more eager because you just saw them play 2 months ago, or what's that been like?
I mean, I feel great, being back, ready to go back to hitting. I'm just waiting to hit someone.
Yeah, so the first person that you get a chance to hit is going to get, 2 seasons worth of pent-up aggression unloaded upon them?
And Mondo can flat out play football, but he's a leader for us. He didn't miss a practice in the spring after surgery. He's in helmet and shoulder pads. We had to take his chin strap on game day, so we're going to yell for somebody, and Mondo's going to go running out there.
So what you're saying is the likelihood that somebody from Orange Glen is going to suffer a head wound of some sort that first week?
Almost definitely. Quarterback especially.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Specifically the quarterback, not just the first guy. You're gonna get to that quarterback too. Coach, are you on kickoff?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Wait, I saw a head shake no and a voice say yes.
I'm being on kickoff. Yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna ask, can we get the very first tackle of the season just be you running down and on kickoff just obliterating somebody, or just do an onside kick to let him really? Okay, I'm looking like is Tony mad now? Right, that I'm legitimately giving away your first game plan. Were you gonna onside kick with a pent up aggression line like a bionic lineman?
I think something that those that know about how we like to play football and our head coach Tony Corley is there may be designs of seeing who gets hit the hardest early on. So I'm sure Armando's going to be unleashed that way.
We'll put it on the poll at SD Prep Insider is designing an onside kick for a lineman with pent-up aggression, a great way to start the season. Was the spring, so I know that there was graduation and it's not technically the same team, but was the spring was that one season ago, or was that sort of the first ever preseason? Was that, what do you guys?
I would say the spring season kind of prepared us. It sucks to watch our seniors go, but for the guys that are coming back, I think it's a real preparation, and it just prepared us for this season to go beat up on all these teams. Yeah, and 4-1 last year. So how much confidence does that give you coming into this year? Because again, it was sort of a mini year, but going from 4-1 last year to now you get a full season again. What's it going to be like, and how much more confident are you now?
We're going in. We had a 4-game win streak at the end of the season. We kind of got our butts kicked game one. Weren't as prepared as we wanted to be, but now we're going back wanting to win and win and win and win all the way. Just play out with our hearts out. Yeah.
So I think the follow up then to my question was, would something like a 2 padded game spring season be a legitimately good option for high school football? Like not doing a full season, but just doing 2. We'll do 1 exhibition, 1 game instead of spring passing league and spring anything like that. CIF going, okay, kids played a spring season successfully of football, and then they can turn around in the fall and do it again.
I think what it showed us is that maybe you could adapt what other parts of the state, well, not our state, other states in the country do, where you're allowed to pad up in your high school spring, almost for an injury preventative thing. I don't know that you need to go play games.
I had no idea that other states did padded up spring. So yes, would then doing padded up spring be better football? Would it be better for football?
I think technique-wise, that's something that we found. We kind of looked at what our normal fall install is like, and okay, we're going to pair this to that, but we knew we'd be ahead in some places. It's not. Kids have, like Peter said, kids have remembered a lot of stuff. They're not so far from it. The hard thing becomes, Danny plays middle infield on our baseball team. So we had 3 games there where he was only at 2 practices that week because they were at, San Isidro and Point Loma for games in a week. So they were never going to be back in time.
Yeah, that was a cluster F of a situation.
Yeah, I got to ask you about that because that's probably the only time that'll ever happen. What was it like? Did you ever have, if I remember this correctly, you had Friday night games, Saturday baseball games, stuff like that. I don't think you ever had 2 in the same day, did you?
Never.
But what was that like, the turnaround going from football, baseball, football? You're like Deion Sanders, basically.
First of all, he 100% believes he's Deion or Bo. So let's not help Danny in any way. I will, before you answer, he also had a night where he was unreal up at Valley Center, led us to a great win, and then homers in the next baseball game. We didn't think we're going to have to order like a 3-size larger helmet, but he can address the rest of it.
I would say it was definitely a challenge, though. Growing up, I've played football since I was probably like 5 years old, and I've played travel baseball since I was 9, but I would say I was kind of used to it, but it was definitely challenging going from school to practice to a game, but I was definitely ready for it.
I've seen this a lot with kids who play football, then they play basketball. They're like super physical for that first couple weeks of basketball because they can't turn the football off yet. Were there any times in the baseball diamond where you almost accidentally hit someone or something like that?
Sometimes. I would say not people, but the ball. I'd say the ball.
When you say Deion Sanders, this half of the room gets the reference being, oh man, that's like an elite athlete. Do you guys view him as a coach or an athlete? What is the first thing that comes to mind with Deion Sanders?
Go ahead, Pete.
Definitely athlete, superstar, showboating.
How have you guys consumed him as an athlete though? Like through just YouTube clips? I'm genuinely curious.
NFL throwback on YouTube.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yes. No. To me, it feels like there are some of these references that felt very dated, and that you would have picked somebody more modern, but he clicked with it initially. And I always find that kind of stuff fascinating.
I think there's some of those guys that transcend, right? Like you couldn't make like the Khalil Green reference, right? How many guys didn't understand Khalil Green?
He's up there still. We decided not to bring him into the rotation for the bobbleheads.
The hard thing for coaches is you drop a movie line that you think is somewhat relevant, and then you realize it was 20 years ago, and it's not going well.
It's not going well because crickets, or it's not going well because people respond with coach. Like, that's a groaner. Like, that's so old. Like, what is the worst case scenario for you throw a movie line out there and you get, like, what is it? Nothing back? Is it booze? When does that happen to you?
They're going to give me a hard time and I'm okay with it.
What was the last reference that he made that was just cringeworthy, outdated? Or any of your coaches made that you're like, I've never seen that. No one in our grade has seen that movie.
Tony Corley loves to drop quotes from Best of Times, the old football movie. Well, you got to watch it because when Reno Hightower was in his way. Anyway, Tony drops that, and the kids are just like, "Is this a transfer? Is there somebody? What's going on? Like, who's Reno?" So yeah, there's that element.
Nice. What do you guys consider old out or is Remember the Titans like the only good football movie that's come out in your life, or like? Yeah, what is the cutoff on, like, you still consider, like, oh, that's a cool football movie, or everything else is just dated and old?
I think there's, like, all-time classics, like Rudy, Remember the Titans.
All right, so put together the Mount Rushmore, then, I guess, of football movies. So you got 4 options. What are the 4 football movies going up there? Coach, you're welcome to. This is a San Pasqual answer, not kid-specific.
Are we going to wake Armando up? Or are you going to give us an
No, he's just thinking about hitting.
I definitely like Blindside.
He's thinking about that kickoff.
Mondo went with Blindside.
All right, fair enough.
And that's pretty relevant, I think.
I was definitely going to say Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans is up there.
I'm going Rudy all the way.
I'm a product of the late '90s, so I think Varsity Blues to pull from you is one that is not something we're watching as a team, like Coach Roach said.
That's a raunchy kind of fun. Varsity Blues would never have survived premiering in the era.
No. Well, the one I always reference, which nobody gets, is Little Giants.
Oh.
Is that too old for you guys?
Oh, I've seen that movie.
Okay. All right. Because I think that's an
Is
all-time
that a
classic.
football movie though, or is that a
100%.
Disney comedy?
It's both.
It's both.
But it's okay to have
Deal.
fun, right?
It is okay to have
I
fun.
think we drop. We always
Maybe
ask
there
our
are too many
guys,
serious football movies and
I
not enough
agree.
fun football movies, and
And-
that's why I like Varsity Blues.
You know, when we drop stuff, we're going to put something in. What are we going to call it? And when there's crickets in the room, because you want the guys to have a say in it. I'll go annexation of Puerto Rico, and about half of them will get it, and that's okay.
It's the perfect play name.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll name. That's what you'll call the kickoff that we could draw up for him this year, guys. Looking ahead, and I now realize why Noah bailed on us because he doesn't want us to trash talk his beloved Olympian. You guys got Orange Glen, Olympian, Valhalla, Westview, Valley Center, San Marcos, RBV, Ramona, Fallbrook, Escondido. We will have all of that online for you guys that are listening to this. Apologize for kind of banging through some list radio there, but please don't just give me we're going to take it 1 week at a time. Like, there's got to be something in here that you're like a stretch of games or something early on in the season that you guys really have your highlights set for.
Orange Glen, biggest rivalry for us, big game for us, week 1, and we're prepared.
Biggest rivalry for you guys currently as a football program?
I think obviously it's what the kids feel, right? Because they're the ones playing the game. I think it's different with OG's 4.2 miles from us. I think Escondido has a long. We're the second longest continuous rivalry game that's been played in the section.
You and
That's still
Escondido, or
ongoing.
you and
Us and Escondido?
Yeah, okay.
Orange Glen took a couple-year break.
Cowards. What?
Yeah.
Weird ghost in this.
But
studio.
I think there's a lot because of that proximity. But they're in my mind, it's those two are pretty darn even. But I know the guys can feel a little bit differently.
Well, and you guys didn't get to play it last year, right? So what is it going to be like having a year off and getting to go play that game? Armando, I'll let you this one. And it's going to be your first game back, too, after 2 years. So it's going to feel real good for you.
I'm just going out there, like I said, going out there to hit, haven't played them since sophomore year, obviously, and then, just go out there and hit them.
I was going to say that the rivalry it would differ from year to year. I would say definitely last year since we didn't get to play them. Escondido is probably our biggest challenge, and, we had a really good game. We came out on top, but this year I'd definitely say Orange Glen is the top rivalry.
Well, props to you then for bookending the season with excellently scheduled games to have your two biggest rivals start and finish. It also seems like you guys have, divisions 1 through 4 represented
We
here.
have 4.
You have a little bit of everything, and there's not a lot of schools that have that variety during the season. How does that affect your focus? Like, are you guys ever caught like, oh man, we got to save up a little bit for the D1 school that's 2 weeks from? Like, how do you maintain that even level of intensity and focus every week, no matter who the opponent is?
It's week by week. You're playing as hard as you can this week, and then you're going to rest a weekend, and then your mind's set on the next week. So it's just going to be going all out all the time.
I think that there's something that a lot of I've heard these guys talk about because our seniors from last year that really didn't think they were going to play football. I think there's coaches can harp and adults can tell kids as much as they want. Hey, you're only going to get this for so long. Really enjoy it and take it all in. You can feel that there's more of that because they saw some people they really care about almost lose out on that entirely. So that you can tell, I think helps them with that. And then just in terms of our 1 through 4, our league we're Division 2 through 4 within our league. And then, we had San Marcos for D1 and a couple other D2s out there. And it's a good mix. I think we're playing quality programs. And
Do you enjoy that over having something like Cathedral's schedule where it's nothing but hardest you can get every single week? Like, what would you guys prefer your schedule, or would you like a crack at something like that?
I'd definitely say the challenge is definitely exciting. Just getting to play against some guys, just shouting out San Marcos, getting to play at D1 school, it's very challenging. It's very exciting. And I know a lot of people will be watching how we perform, and we could carry that momentum into the rest of the season and in the postseason as well.
Favorite road place to win?
Escondido, Orange Glen. One of those two, hands down.
Really don't like those two schools. I love this. You're committed to this. You're not wavering from it.
Similar question. Better feeling, scoring touchdown at home or making a good play at home where the whole home crowd starts cheering, or doing it on the road where everyone just stops? Do you get that weird silence because you just quieted the whole crowd? What's a better feeling?
I'd say it's probably equal because you love hearing your crowd after you score a touchdown, but it's also nice to hear the pin drop after you score.
It's going to be nice to just have crowds.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice to just, I mean, I guess there was 15% capacity or something like that in it. There was family and friend. Everyone found some sort of loophole to get some sort of people there. But
so, I mean, every school was different. So your district, what did you guys do? I know a lot of it was 4 people per player.
What were you allowed to do?
What were the rules for
you?
Well, and then also, do we know the rules for this year yet, or is it still kind of up in the air?
So our athletic director would like to say that the rules we followed were 4 per student when we were at home last year. But I can tell you that our principal told me after the Escondido game, he looked around and said, well, I guess we didn't do 4. It was just, and we were outside. I think at that point, we were in a pretty good space. But before I answer that part, Tommy, I think the other part of our schedule, Christian, is that like Ramona's going to be for real good. The fact that Ramona's a D3 team is, we're probably going to change the way the CIF ranks our playoffs coming up in another year and go to 2. So it's, I think the divisions can be a touch misleading, especially, you get that class that's pretty dominant. But where we are with the who's allowed and all that, it is district. I don't think you're going to have an outdoor cap on who can be there. I think they're going to say outdoors are okay. Indoors, volleyball, we might see some different things. And I think you're going to see volleyball players have to play in masks to start this thing off. Outside, we're allowed, we're masks free right now. So that's, trying to yell through a mask is pretty nice.
I'm sure just the amount of time reduced on your workload from not having to overly sanitize and segment and regulate everything. A lot of the athletic directors I felt like I talked to last year said, there's 3 hours extra work that I have to do daily now just to get the literal same amount of stuff done because you just can't do it with kids. Are you guys going to get like pep rallies and like the full indoor raw treatment, or is stuff going to be adapt? Like you're back to somewhat of a regular.
I heard the other day that we should refer to it as familiar and not normal. Like we're not back to normal, but we're back to familiar, and I think that's true. Like we're gonna have pep rallies. Our ASB director is fired up. She was a new ASB director last year.
Hey,
didn't
intern,
get to do it.
Go away.
Sit on my lap. Come here. But they are we gonna put half the school in the gym at one time? I don't think so. I think we'll be outside for our pep rallies. People are going to try and get kids as close to that normal experience as they can. So we're going to see a lot of it, I think.
Deal. Tommy, any final questions for San Pasqual football before we let them get out of here? Because you guys have practice number 2 today, or you have some sort of install later today?
Damn right.
Hey.
Yeah, we got 1 today. We're padding up for the first time this afternoon. Armando's been waiting for about 18 months. We're going to hide everybody.
Wait, did one of you guys wear the Twitter jersey, or who was wearing the Twitter jersey?
So let me back up.
You guys. So seniors get nicknames on the back of their uniforms, right? Is that how it works?
All right. Okay. So I hear a bunch of laughs. So let's close out on this note. Please explain that jersey because there's got to be something good here, and then I feel like I have to get some nicknames or something like that as we go down the line. Coach, the floor is all yours.
Oh, don't get me in trouble. What we do as part of our spring fundraiser is guys can earn a practice jersey and put, within reason, whatever name and number they want on the back of it. Coach Corley has some rules for will not be allowed. Obviously, nothing that's obscene and can't be worn on campus, and a couple other things we don't allow. But so that the Twitter jersey actually was a senior a few years ago. His brother Saul is now one of our fullbacks this year. He had to do a little reminder conditioning because he'd posted something stupid on Twitter, and we were trying to make the point that you got to be right everywhere, and he hadn't decided what he wanted on his jersey yet, so he put that, and it has been recycled and is in existence now. And we have a handful that make you laugh and question every time. I think Danny's currently in a random one that says pineapple.
So the funny story about the pineapple one, I actually just found it, and the reason I chose pineapple was because at home that's our safe word. So, like, let's say we're out in public.
That's not gonna say word.
Next one.
It's a family
family safe
from
word.
Somewhere somebody knows this. This is the code to pick up the relative.
Correct.
It's pineapple.
Correct.
But yeah, there may have been jokes.
weird bunch of kids. I like you guys.
Wait, so how long are these in circulation for? Because it's kind of worth the investment if you think it's something funny to have that, because you know it's going to be there for like 4 or 5 years, right?
Oh, for sure. And a lot of kids keep their own, and then you'll see it where somebody will show up with an older brother's or one that's been there, and then some kids leave them in the Twitter. Actually, I think but pineapple was left. Like somebody didn't take it with them, so we wash it and we reissue them. And especially the younger guys end up with one, and you'll have a kid in a jersey that says, pick a random last name. We had a kid that had one that said Bucio, B-U-C-I-O, right? Random. It was there. This new kid grabs it. Everybody for the first month thought his name was Bucio. Not his name. Not related to him in any way, shape, or form.
I love that.
Speak up. So that's what he was called for about a year and a half. So
I love that.
There is that element of
That's
it.
perfect. All right, so you will be referred to as Pineapple in the description for this episode. What's on the back of either of your guys' jerseys?
His name is Mama's Boy. Mama's
Pineapple, Mama's Boy, and
I'm in a hand-me-down jersey right now that says Crispy.
great having you guys in studio.
We have a freshman that's in a Buffalo Head jersey right now.
It says Buffalo Head?
Buffalo Head, and everyone thinks it's, okay, what is it about a nickel? What's this about? It was literally someone's last name.
He's a freshman.
Uh-huh.
What's his legitimate name?
His name is Adrian.
Buffalo Head.
We need to find. We're gonna find him now on Twitter, and we're gonna make him the singular most popular athlete in all of San Diego.
I'll take a picture of it this afternoon
Deal.
and send it to you. His last name starts with an L. It's not
Deal.
Bonsa, but
He will be known as Buffalo Head for the next 4 years, and that will not go away. Yeah, even the intern knows it. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. First game, like they said, Friday night the 20th against Orange Glen. It is a home game, so in front of the Eagles Nest. We hope to see them back there. Returning Tommy, any final questions, or can we let these guys get out of here? All righty, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next. In a little bit, sports fans.